Neonic Void Productions presents.
Hi, welcome to Spookocalypse. I am your host, Zio, and today, of course, I got the one and only Bunyip.
Well, hi there.
Hello. And today we are still without the housekeeper. Oh my god, girl, come back. Where you at?
Just
Anyway.
around cleaning places up.
Yeah, probably at her second job.
They got a second job?
Yeah, they got a second job. So that's why they're probably not going to be here on some Tuesdays. Sometimes when we are recording, because they got a second job. But that's neither here nor there. We support a queen. In the description down below, ladies and gents, if you will click on that link to the link tree, it will take you over to the other links to the Spotify's and YouTube's of the other of our other podcasts of the United Void family of podcasts. Again, YouTube channels in there if you want to go follow us on Twitter, because I'm not gonna call up that stupid ass name. It is at Spookocalypse. It's at SPOOKOCALYPSE. If you're on YouTube, hi, how are ya? When I say subscribe, that little link lights up. If you want it to not light up, click it and subscribe. Smack it, take it out to dinner. I'm not your daddy. I'm not your mama. Do what you want with it, but subscribe. You want to like, comment, tell us what you liked about this movie or what we're going to talk about today. If you guys suggestions, please put it in the comment section or email us at House of Ideas. HAUS, not House of Ideas. Oh my God. House of the Void at gmail.com. So it's HAUSOFTHEVOID at gmail.com. If you have any suggestions for us that you want us to talk about. But yeah, we'll get on to today's episode. Today's mint is not a mint. It is a Flintstone style gummy in the shape of a T-Rex.
I was thinking of like the crunchy vitamins back in the 90s.
Oh, yes, the crunchy vitamins. The crunchy vitamin, a crunchy little vitamin, vitamin C, for vitamin cunt. And it's in the shape of a T-Rex. So, on to today's episode. Today, we are going to be talking about another horror comedy that's somehow in the queer horror section on Shudder. And the only thing I can think of is that it has to do with the character that's the best friend in this movie that's gay and lives throughout the whole movie. I guess that's the only thing I can think of, because the director's not. The director's a straight man. Anyway, we're talking about Tammy and the T-Rex. And you're like, Tammy and the what? You heard me correct, ladies and gentlemen and others. Tammy and the T-fucking-Rex. This movie walked, so Velocipaster could run, baby. You want a movie that's fucking weird and buffoonery? This movie is it, baby. This movie is it, mama. So this movie was directed by Stuart Ruffle. And it stars Denise Richards, Paul Walker, young and young Denise Richards. You got Theo Fawcett, George Pilgrim, Terry Chrysler, Ellen Dublin, Buck Flower. I mean, you got a lot of people here. Ken Carpenter, Shane Whelan, JJ Saunders, John Eddingson, John Franklin, John F. Goof, and Efren Ramirez. This movie was released back in December 21st, 1994 in the United States. And the production company was Greenline Productions, and it was distributed by Imperial Entertainment, or is distributed now by Vinegar Syndrome. This is a science fiction comedy horror film. Let me tell you something. This movie has an interesting back history, because I was talking to my lovely, lovely boyfriend as we were watching the Blu-ray version of this movie. Which, mind you, there are two versions of this movie. The American release, which they cut out a bunch of the gore, and they released the gore cut, which was the version that Italy and a bunch of other countries over in Europe got. So Vinegar Syndrome got that version of the cut and decided, hey, we're going to release this on fucking Blu-ray. So here we are. I watched that version while Bunya watched the Shudder. And I don't know if the Shudder version is the gore cut or not. I probably should have looked at that to see. The only difference was there was a lot more gore in the gore
The
cut.
one that I watched was on Tubi.
You watched it on Tubi? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't really have anything to compare it to, so I don't know if this was their idea of the gore version or if it was more
I don't
tame.
know. I would have to watch it to tell you if it's the same one or not.
I mean, there's kind of some blood and guts, but it's not gratuitous.
Oh, and the gore cut's a little ridiculous. A little ridiculous. So, before we get into the plot with Bunyip, a little bit of the production history. This movie is a where do I even begin? So, this movie all started once upon a time. There was a Dutchman who was in possession of a dinosaur animatronic that he had to ship off to an amusement park in Texas. So he had got an idea. Oh my God, I have an animatronic T-Rex sitting in a warehouse. Why don't I make a movie with it? Literally. And this obviously is a starting point to an amazing story, you may be thinking. So he got with Stuart Raphael, which is the director of this movie. He's also the director of who made the notorious E.T. ripoff, Mac and Me. And he says, and I quote, "Hey, I have a T-Rex and almost $1 million. We start shooting in 3 weeks." Now, this guy with a T-Rex tells Stuart, I mean, not in a quote, but that's what this article says. Quotation marks, "Hey, I got a T-Rex and $1 million. Want to make a movie in like 3 weeks?" And he, of course, he was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." They write the script. Stuart writes the script in 6 days. Count them. 6 days. Monday through Saturday. I mean, maybe not in those exact 6 days, but like not even a week, and he finishes the script. What?
And then he took a little break the seventh day. Didn't bother to make another draft.
Yep. Nope. Apparently not. He wrote the script in 6 days and spends the other 2 weeks tracking down cast, crew, and locations. Because he has 3 weeks to get everything ready to shoot this film. So the first 6 days of those 3 weeks, he spent writing the script. And then he got the cast, crew, locations, and permits and everything. And then he goes to shoot the movie. Now, this movie, the director got some luck on his side, because the casting department, because somehow he got Denise Richards and Paul Walker, who were only on making like TV appearances at this time, to join in this film, as well as he got some other big name actors in this film as well.
Should we read some of them off?
I mean, I read them all off in the beginning, but like one of them was George Buck Flower, who appears in 6 John Carpenter films. You have the guy who plays Isaac in Children of the Corn,
Yeah,
obviously. Yep. And the guy who plays Benny and Weekend at Benny's, and the lady who plays Napoleon's mother in Napoleon Dynamite. for those listening, if you want to know like exactly what kind of roles these actors had prior or after this movie and what they're more known for. So we got a decent cast of people. And so Stewart also had some built-in advantage with the production as well because he spent many years as an animal trainer in Hollywood. So he ran a business to provide wild animals to TV and TV shows and films. So,
That would explain the park.
yep. So that's how he got access to the line drag wire with all that because of his connections with that. Um, and then he made the movie, right? And he showed the guy who got Stewart to do this, and he's like, I hate it. I hate it. It's shit. He's like, yeah, the guy hated it. Absolutely hated it. And the director apparently said in a recent interview, he knew, and I guess what this article says, he knew that the film was unlikely to be a masterpiece, so he leaned into the camp and the craziness. But the guy who got the producer hated it. He wanted to make a family film all along, so he had to film the recut to remove the violence and crude humor. As a result, the director quote unquote walked away. He never watched the theatrical cut of the movie. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is some deliciously good tea.
Oh, that's some deliciously good tea. And of course, many years later, they tracked down the original cut of the film. They found it in Italy, and that's where the whole gore cut came from. And that's how Vinegar Syndrome made a fancy Blu-ray release for it. And now it lives on in cult classic history. Because this movie does have a cult following. And I can see why. It's fucking camp. It's fucking stupid. But like it's entertaining. And like it's like again, it's like this movie walked so Velocipaster could run. That kind of gives you a ballpark on what this film is like. Oh my god, I should watch Joe Briggs talk about it on The Last Drive-In. I didn't know he did that. Oh fuck. Anyway, let's get into the plot. What happens in Tammy and the T-Rex? Oh, before we get into Tammy and the T-Rex, okay. This film is fucking weird because Denise Richards' character is named Tammy, but in the credits, it's also named her character is also named Tanny. And I'm like, why? I never could find a reason why. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's weirdly inconsistent.
Yeah, it's very consistent. You could tell the script was written in 6 days. Like, I wonder if you have anybody to proofread it.
Maybe someone wrote one M on accident, and they're like, was that supposed to be Tammy?" And they're like, "Yeah, it says
I
Tanny." I'm
know.
like, okay."
Okay. So let's move over to Bunyip with the plot on Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah, so Tammy is at cheerleading practice, and then Michael shows up, played by Paul Walker. And then naturally, because it's a 90s film, they start making out.
Of
Oh,
course.
he's watching, and then it's like, "Okay, practice is over." And then she's like, "Hi, Michael. Hi, Tammy." And then they start making out. I think shortly after Byron shows up, and he's our gay character,
Yep. Gay
like
best friend.
the token gay character, but he's cool.
Yep. He is.
And she's cool. I mean, he's cool with Michael as her new boyfriend. So it's establishing that Tammy has had past lovers, namely her ex-boyfriend Billy, who looks like a biker thug. And
Billy is insane. The whole gang is insane.
yeah, he's 90s bully insane,
Yes.
like how Stephen King would write bullies specifically in It.
Yes, that is a great example on what kind of bully this guy is.
Yeah, most bullies will just like harass you, steal stuff from you, and punch you, but not all of them will pull a knife on you.
Oh no, I would literally try to kill you and leave you for the lions.
Uh-huh. But you need a way to make a character really despicable, so you exaggerate their traits a bit. But yeah, they have a fight, and I think like a oh yeah, the police show up and they break it up,
Yeah.
and then Billy's taken into custody temporarily, but it's more like you're gonna stay in jail for a day.
And now, mind you, the fight that they had ends. The way the fight it ends with them grabbing each other's junk.
Oh right, they were like
I'm like,
just
this is
grab
the
each other's
gayest shit.
crotches. I was like,
This
what?
is the gayest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Maybe that's why it's categorized under queer horror, just like the
It's so
interactions.
gay. And and Paul Walker's character Michael is so funny because he makes it look like it hurt him. He's like, "Are you hurt?" He's like, "Nah, I'm wearing a cup." Oh, fuck you. It's so good.
But yeah, Tammy's upset with the violence and runs off. And then we're back to the dark warehouse with the Tyrannosaurus Rex animatronic. We've got Dr. Wakenstein and his assistant Helga.
Which
Mm.
gives what's the is it Mr. Is it God, what's her name? Venture Brothers, the evil guy and his assistant.
Um,
Oh my god. Hold
oh
on.
my god, it's the Monarch and Dr. Girlfriend.
Dr. Girlfriend, yes. It's giving the Monarch and Dr. Girlfriend. Like she's serving cunt. She is serving. Titties out. It's great.
She's so tall.
I'm waiting. I was waiting for that voice to come out too.
Because I was thinking of like a different character. It's like, oh, that's the mercenary,
That's good too. That's good
but
too.
different character.
Yeah.
But yeah, the two walk into the door and the lights come on, and John Franklin's character is the lab assistant. He's in the booth and he's controlling the animatronic. And the doctor's like, what if we put a human brain inside of this animatronic? We'll have ourselves a T Rex and it'll be immortal.
Sounds
Oh,
like a great idea.
it's brilliant. How do you make it move? Not just in place, but like just in general. How do you make it move? I mean, it's a little different than like putting dead children inside of an animatronic, but this
Yeah.
is this is where it came from first, I guess. Or
Yeah.
just anything where it's like, we're gonna implant a physical body part into an inanimate object and make it come to life.
Yeah.
But it goes to I think it's like later that night. Michael sneaks out to see Tammy. I think she calls him up. It's like, come over to my
Yeah.
house. And he's like, all right. And it does that typical 90s movie thing where like the boy sneaks over the house.
Parks right in front of near the house.
Yeah,
Doesn't
he
even
doesn't
hide a
even
car.
like wouldn't you park like a block or two away and then
You
walk?
would think. No, he parks right in front of the other house, the next door neighbor. And he walks over. He's like, he throws a rock at the window. He's like, "Hey, I'm about to
Mhm.
get up there. Oh, climb the vines." Okay. Eh.
And the mom and dad are clearly like, you better not have any boys over. Oh, I don't.
No, mom and dad, I never would. Ooh.
But they're over there. They make out. But while Michael was climbing up, like some of the biker people that
Fucking
is affiliated
bitches.
with Billy, it's like, oh look, let's go snitch on him. Let's go
It's
tell
the
Billy
two.
about this.
It's the two fucking bitches, the two girls, the biker group. You fucking skanks. Ooh,
Yep, and then Billy shows up with a big crowd of people, a sizable crowd, like 6 or 7 people,
yes. Yeah.
and they break into the house.
And the parents do nothing.
And the parents
Nothing.
like they don't check the door; they just open it and he shoves his way. And he's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing in here? Get out of my house!"
And they do nothing. So stupid.
But yeah, Michael sneaks out the window and runs off. And then Billy's chasing after him, and then everybody's getting on their cars. Michael doesn't get back to his car; he just runs.
No. Yeah.
And so they managed to knock him down. They put him into the trunk of one of the cars,
Yeah.
and then they drive to a place that is literally called the Wild Animal Park.
So original, such an original name.
What is in the Wild Animal Park?
Lions and jaguars.
Pretty much all the big cats. Like, I think there's an
Yeah.
ocelot running around, maybe a
Yeah.
cheetah, just most big cats you would see at a zoo.
They're just chilling.
Yep, there's no safety railings, there's no, like, Jeep where you can drive by and
No.
they can't hurt you. It's just like they're out in the open and it's nighttime and they're just prowling around. They're not fighting each other at all. They're just like just waiting for someone to wander into the park.
Now there are those drive-through zoos. Like there's one here in where I live. That is a thing, but there's no safety precautions like at all for anything.
Mhm. But they literally drag Michael out of the car and they could
Mhm.
beat him to death, but they're like, I'm gonna let
Nope.
you go. I'm gonna leave you to the lions and the jaguars. I'm gonna just let them eat you. And sure enough, one of them just starts chasing Michael as he's trying to run and it tackles him. And I don't know if this is a stunt double or
It's a
if it
stunt
was
double.
like an actual big cat is mauling somebody.
Oh no, it's a stunt double. Because you could tell 'cause they don't show his face while he's getting attacked. You could tell it's a wig if you look, like an
Oh
old
my
nappy
god.
blonde wig.
But yeah, the police show up conveniently. I don't think anyone called them, or if they did, it was back at Tammy's house. But yeah, they find him at the wild animal park. They chase the big cats away and they bring Michael to the hospital. He is comatose, and the only guardian that he has is his intoxicated uncle who's just sitting in a
Yeah,
chair, knocked out.
yeah.
And then
And then the
Doctor,
monarch and Doctor Girlfriend come in.
yep, they show up, and it's like, "Hey, where can we find Michael? Okay, who are you? We're family.
Oh, he's
Okay."
dead.
He's it's like, "Your nails
So
are
dead.
stupid." He just walks by, "Your nails are stupid," walks away.
It's so I was like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, he's dead. We'll take care of him now. Don't worry. And just rolls him out.
Yes. I don't remember how they fake it, like, they attach something, either they unplug something or they attach a
I
device.
think
It's like, "Oh, the
I
heart
think they
monitor is
unplug
back."
it. I think they
Uh,
unplug it.
yeah, it's like, "Oh, no, he's dead. Looks like you're gonna have to shoot, gotta take care of everything," and then they drag him out, and Helga's weirdly kissing the body.
Eh,
She's like, "Oh, you're so precious. We're gonna
eh.
you're gonna have a big, beautiful brain, we're gonna shove it into a T-Rex."
God damn it. Oh God.
But they drag him out of the hospital on a gurney and then leave it
Yep.
behind, and they go to their warehouse,
Yep.
and they implant the brain into the T-Rex.
You have a whole scene with them cutting his skull off and taking his brain. That might
Oh,
be just
yeah,
from the gore cut, but I don't know if that was like it
they
had that in the
they
original movie.
tickle his brain, like, "Watch this," and he pokes him, and, like, he has an instant boner.
Yes, it's so stupid. Oh God.
And I'm just like, "Oh, no, they attack the pineal gland." Like, I just like that movie, what is it? Uh, where someone's pineal gland, like, gets shoved out of their head, and it sort of takes over their body. I don't know what movie this is, but
Oh
it's
my
freaky.
God.
It's either In the Mouth of Madness or, like, From Beyond.
One of those two. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was just like, God, that looks painful. But
Yeah.
anyways, after they mess with him, they implant his brain, and then Michael manages to awaken inside the T-Rex, and,
Yep.
you expect it like, "Oh, it's my creation, it's gonna follow my orders." No, Michael's freaking out. He's in a new body, he doesn't know what's going on, and he
Yep.
escapes.
Yep. Erg.
Eats a few people
Rar.
first, but leaves.
With his little arms.
I think during this time, there's a party that Tammy's attending, and Byron's there, and I think it's like a party that's like, "Oh, Michael's dead,"
Yeah.
and Billy shows up with his gang, and it's it feels like the party feels kind of pointless, but it does have some bearing on the plot when Michael shows up as a T-Rex, starts biting people. Of
He
course.
kills Billy.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I think Billy's trying to have sex with some random girl in a car because he can't have Tammy, so he's taking it
Mhm.
out on her, and then he just, like, nom.
He grabs him at the head and rips his head off. And the girl's like, blood gushing everywhere. Oh, it's so
Mhm.
good.
And he flattens one of the nerdy-looking bikers, or
Yeah.
but not Byron. He just picks him up and dusts him off with his little raptor hands.
Those little hands. He's like, "You're cool. I'll save you though. You're fine."
Of course, the police eventually show up and they see all the chewed and crushed bodies. And the police sheriff is Byron's dad.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of don't remember exactly because, like, the plot description jumps to like when they're in the morgue and they're trying to find a body for him, and he's like in the
Yeah.
truck that's transporting him, and they're trying to find a different body. But there's some more behind that, like the T Rex. I don't remember if Michael convinces Tammy to go to the barn.
I think I don't remember how they get to the barn, but they get to the barn and they're like sleeping together or laying next to each other. And that's when Byron's father comes in and then they open fire on the dinosaur.
Yeah, it takes a while for Michael to convince Tammy that it's him,
Yeah.
and I think it's because of like a necklace that he gave her. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Like, it takes her like an embarrassingly long time to connect the
Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah.
And I guess to skip ahead a little, because I don't know if there's a whole lot of shenanigans to take note of.
There there's not that much in shenanigans. It's basically they find the doctor and Dr. Girlfriend there and at the barn, T-Rex kills the doctor, police open fire and take and like basically destroy the mechanical dinosaur. And then of course I think the next big thing is like Tammy
Yeah,
man,
Tammy gets the brain and is somehow able to hook it up to wires and a camera and like a voice speaker so that
yeah, because she's
Michael
a
can speak.
genius.
Yeah,
Genius.
it's never indicated anywhere in the movie that she has the know-how to pull this off, but she pulls it off.
Yeah, apparently so.
And then she does some striptease for the brain
It's so
and the camera,
stupid.
and he has what is I can only describe as the equivalent of a hands-free orgasm.
My God.
Like the
The way the computer sparks. Oh my
Yes.
God. I hate it here. this movie. This movie's it's a trip. It's a trip and a half, y'all.
And that's where it ends. Just
Pretty
like,
much.
"We're together. You're just a brain, but I still love you, Michael."
Oh God. This movie was only 82 minutes long. Not even a full hour and a half. Uh-uh. This movie's a brick shot of a load. And again, this script was written in 6 days, y'all. 6 days. Symbolism?
I was gonna ask, like, how does it hold up compared to Velocipaster?
Oh, Velocipaster's way better. But again, this movie is still entertaining as hell. But this movie walks a Velocipaster could run. I just compare the two because it's on the same wavelength of ridiculous, buffoonery, but Velocipaster does it better. So there's no symbolism.
There's barely any
Yeah,
symbolism or themes,
not really. Not really any of that.
unless you wanna really do a tie-in with Frankenstein and making
Yeah,
a creature for the scientific purposes, and the T-Rex is trying to find his wife. Like, Frankenstein
true.
wanted a wife, and then Michael's just like, "I just want my girlfriend back,"
Yeah. I mean, you could.
because his original body is infested with maggots. It's not
Yeah.
usable.
Yeah, she went to the graveyard, didn't she? To try to dig up his grave.
Yes, that's they had the funeral, and then before they
Yeah.
got a chance to bury it, she's like, "Okay, dig him up."
Yep. And he's like, ah! And they're all trying to. She's trying to get out of the hole that they dig for it. It's so funny.
And then they go off to the morgue, and it's like, "Okay, we gotta find a new body." And it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, "Does it matter if it's a girl?" It's like, "No, it has to be a boy." Like, "Alright, fine." And they're showing him different bodies, and it's like, "Well, it's nice if you like it, Tammy, but he also has to like it." And pretty much everybody, he's like, "No." Shakes his head.
Mm, so dumb. But so yeah, rating system. Wh- 1 to 5 T-Rexes.
Are you sure? Can we try a little harder?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You want okay. Okay. Um 1 out of 5 heads bitten off.
You know what? That works.
1 out of 5 heads bitten off.
I see.
I'm what?
I didn't know I was going first.
Did you want to go first?
I You seem like you wanna have more to say.
I'm gonna give it a solid. Well, barely. I should say barely a 2 out of 5. A 2 out of 5 heads, and that's exactly how many heads I think the T-Rex devoured, bit off. I think. 'Cause he bit off Billy's and bit off one of the doctors in
Mhm.
the film.
I'm gonna give it 2 as well.
The movie was fun, stupid, crazy. I was watching it honestly. I was like, oh God, please don't tell me this is gonna be a Howard the Duck situation where the girl's gonna have sex with the T-Rex. Please no. I was fully
Oh,
expecting that.
oh, no.
I'm sorry. And why did I say Howard the Duck? There's a scene in Howard the Duck, and I'm like, oh no, please, for the love of God, don't tell me that they're gonna do that with this movie. Thank God they didn't. But the striptease was bad enough as it is. But no, 2 out of 5. This movie could walk, so Velocipaster could run. So if you liked Velocipaster, Tammy and the T-Rex is be right up your alley.
It's a little forgettable, though.
That is fair.
Like, I'd say Byron's probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah, because he has one-liners and stuff. That's pretty funny. But I mean,
Yeah, but nothing
anything
else
else?
is really noteworthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. The movie is not really that like heavy in plot. You really don't know much about the characters. Really, it's pretty shallow as far as character development. The characters go anyway. So I mean, yeah, what you get's what you get. It's just a fun little movie. It's not. I mean, it's bad, but it's like watchable, entertaining bad. If you want a good bad movie to watch, this would be okay. It's watchable. Would I watch it? Go watch it again? Probably not. But I'm not mad that I did.
Could this viewing experience be improved with substances?
Oh yes. Oh, most definitely, girl. If you're in college and you want to get a bunch of your nerdy friends or your movie fan friends and just have a night of drinking and then get nice and tipsy and then watch this movie, you're gonna have a great time. Or other substances that if it's legal in the state you live in, because I have to say that, girl, you're gonna have a good time. I would think you would have a good time. Yes. It'll make the movie experience for this better, in my opinion. Any other final thoughts on Tammy and the T-Rex?
Um, no, not really. Like, this is barely a 30-minute episode.
Yeah. 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 Again, this is gonna be another shorter episode, which is perfectly fine. Because sometimes we gotta have those too. Again, happy Pride, y'all. And next week, well, for the last 2 weeks of June for Pride Month, we are going to be talking about a docu-series that is on Shudder that I've been wanting to do for a while now. It talks about the horror genre and the LGBTQ community. It's called Queer of Fear. And we're going to be talking about 2 episodes next week and the last 2 episodes the week after that. So catch us then. Until then, see y'all next week and happy Pride once again. Till then, bye.
Goodbye.